So let's get started and let's see how we can download Node.js. So just open your favorite browser and search for Node.js, and the first link which will appear here will be from nodejs.org. So we are going to just click on this link. Now at the time of making this video, you can see the latest version of Node.js is 15.14.0 and the latest LTS version is 14.16.1. I generally choose the LTS version, so I'm going to just click on this option which says 14.16.1 LTS, which is going to download the MSI file for the Node.js. So once this MSI file is downloaded, I'm going to just click on this MSI file and I'm going to minimize the browser, and you can see this installation wizard for your Node.js. So I'm going to just click on next here. You can read the license terms and conditions and then click on accept and then click on next. This will be the location of your Node.js installation. So if you don't have the good reason to change this location, just leave it as default and then click on next and then click on next. And on the next window, you can see this message which says tools for native modules. Optionally install the tools necessary to compile native modules. So I will definitely recommend you to check this checkbox, which is going to automatically install the necessary tools. And also it's going to install a tool called Chocolatey, which is very good utility, and you can use this tool to install many other softwares also, right? So no harm in it. I'm going to just click on next here and then click on install, and now I'm going to click on yes, which is going to start the installation process, which is going to take few seconds. So just wait for a few seconds until the installation is finished. So once the installation of Node.js finishes on your Windows 10 operating system, you will be able to see this kind of message which says Node.js has been successfully installed. So you can just click on finish button, and this is going to open this kind of terminal. And because we have chosen the option to install the additional tools, it's going to just wait for us to press the enter button. And when I press the enter button, it's going to start the installation of the additional tools, right? So you can just wait for the installation of the additional tool for Node.js. And now you can just click on yes here, which is going to open the PowerShell. And here you just need to press enter, and it's going to just use the Chocolatey installation to install the necessary tools, right? So you can see it's downloading this Chocolatey first of all, and then once this tool is installed, it's going to download the additional Node.js tools. So you can leave this window like this. You can just minimize it, don't close this window, and we can already move to the testing of Node.js. So when you click on this Windows icon here, you will be able to see this Node.js command prompt here. Also you can see the Node.js option here. Both the options are going to open the command prompt. So when you click on Node.js command prompt, it's going to open the command prompt like this. Let me just change the font size so you can see everything in bigger font, let's say. So I'm going to just click on OK, and the font size has been increased, right? So here you can just type node and then press enter, which is going to open the node REPL. So this kind of node REPL is very useful when you want to quickly test some commands, and even you can test more complicated stuff. So for example, I'm going to just write console.log here, and inside these parentheses I can add either double quotes or single quotes, and then I can just type hello world here and then press enter, which is going to just print hello world. Also you can do some basic arithmetic operations, or you can import some modules here and test those modules. So everything is possible using this terminal. Also, if you want to open your Windows 10 command prompt, you can just right click on the Windows icon here and you can open the PowerShell from here. And in the PowerShell also you can just go to the properties, and then you can change the font size from here. And now you can just write node and then press enter, which is going to open the node REPL utility also here in your PowerShell. Or if you want to test these commands in the command prompt of your Windows 10, you can just type cmd, which is going to give you this command prompt option. You can just click on this command prompt and then type node here, which is going to once again open this kind of node REPL environment, which means you can test your Node.js on the command prompt also. And here also you can change the properties and then make the font size bigger, and now you can see the font size in a bigger font. Now here you can press Ctrl C in order to come out of your node REPL here. So you can see when you press Ctrl C, it says press Ctrl C again in order to exit. You can once again press Ctrl C and then you are out of the node REPL environment. Also you can type .exit to exit out also. So when I type node once again, when I want to exit out of the node, I can just write .exit, which is also going to cancel the node REPL environment, right? And by the way, if you are confused what is REPL, REPL, REPL stands for read, evaluate, print, loop, which is essentially an interactive shell which processes the Node.js expressions and commands. So this is how you can use Node.js in the command prompt. Now generally when you want to write a Node.js code, you obviously need some kind of editor or IDE to write your Node.js code. I generally use Visual Studio Code for developing my Node.js applications, but you can choose any other IDE or editor of your choice. But for now, what I'm going to do is, I don't have any installation of any kind of editor here. So I will show you, if you don't have any editor on your Windows 10 operating system, then also you can just write your Node.js code, but it will not be very convenient, I would say. So just go to the folder where you want to create your Node.js file, and then you can just click on view here and then click on file name extension. So just check this option, which is going to allow you to view the file extensions, right? Now here right click and then you can click on new, and then you can just click on text document, and you can see that this document is created with .txt extension, right? So I'm going to just change the name of this file as hello.js file. So you generally write the Node.js code in the .js files. So I'm going to just press enter, and on Windows 10 it's going to give you this kind of warning. I'm going to just click on yes here, which is going to create this hello.js file. Now you can edit this file by just right clicking on this file and then click on edit, and here you can just search for the basic hello world Node.js program online on the Node.js website. Also, I'm going to just put this link in the description. In the getting started guide, you will be able to see this sample code which you can test, right? So I'm going to just copy this sample code here, and then I can just paste this code here. Basically what it's going to do is, it's going to start your server on your local host and on your port 3000. You just need to know this here. So just press Ctrl S, or you can just click on the file option and then click on save. Once the project is saved, just close this file. So here go to the folder in which your hello.js file is there, and then press shift key and then right click in the same folder, which is going to allow you to open the command prompt or the PowerShell in the same folder where your hello.js file is there. So just choose this option which says open PowerShell window here, or you will see open command prompt here, right? Both options are okay. And now here you just need to write this command node and then the name of the file, which is hello.js, right? And then press enter, which is going to start your Node.js server on this IP address and this port, which is essentially localhost 3000. So once again, you can go to your web browser and then just type 127.0.0.1 and then colon 3000 and then press enter, which is going to show you hello world. That means your Node.js server is working fine, and this is how you can write your Node.js code and execute the .js file. And also we are going to see how we can set up our Visual Studio Code editor for developing Node.js applications. So let's get started. So first of all, open your favorite browser and search for Visual Studio Code, and the first link which will appear here will be from code.visualstudio.com. So we are going to just click on this link and straight away you will be able to see the download button here and on the top. So I'm going to just click on this button, which is going to download the executable file for the Visual Studio Code setup. At the time of making this video, this file is about 68.9 megabytes. So I will wait for some time. So once this executable file is downloaded, I'm going to just click on this file and I'm going to minimize my browser. And now the Visual Studio setup has been started. So I'm going to just check this radio button which says I accept the agreement and then click on next. This will be the location where your Visual Studio Code editor will be installed. So if you don't have the good reason to change it, just leave it as default and then click on next, and then just click on next once again. And now you can check these checkboxes. You can create a desktop icon for Visual Studio Code. Let's check it. Also, some other options are available here. For example, add open with code action to Windows Explorer file context menu. I will check it. This one also, and register Visual Studio Code as an editor for supported file types. So I will also check this checkbox. So basically I checked all the checkboxes here and then click on next and then click on install, which is going to start the installation of Visual Studio Code. And now once Visual Studio Code has been installed, we are going to see this message. Just leave this checkbox checked and click on the finish button, which is going to launch Visual Studio Code on your Windows 10 operating system. And from here you can customize Visual Studio Code for different languages. Also you have the settings and key bindings for different editors like Vim, Sublime, Atom and others, and you have all these other settings from here. So we will discuss them later when we develop some code from here. Let me show you some basic things about Visual Studio Code. So for example, I open my command prompt by just typing cmd, and then I will just navigate to my desktop folder, and now I'm in my desktop folder, right? So let's say I want to open Visual Studio Code in my desktop folder. I can just write code here and then space dot, which is going to open Visual Studio Code in the current directory in which you are currently present. So right now I want to open Visual Studio Code inside this directory. So just write code space dot and then press enter. And when you press enter here, it's going to open Visual Studio Code, and you can see the folder which is opened here is the desktop folder, right? So this is the command. If you just type code here, then it's going to open the folder which you are working on the last time when you closed your Visual Studio Code, right? So we opened last time this desktop folder. That's why when you just type code, then it's going to just open the last opened folder and close this terminal also. So now let's say I will go to my documents folder, and here I will create a new folder and I will name it as workspace. So I will just name it as workspace here, and then I will go inside this workspace folder, and then I will press my shift key on my Windows operating system. So press shift key and then right click inside this folder. So press shift key and then right click, and you will be able to see open with code option here. So you can just choose this option, which is going to open your Visual Studio Code in the workspace directory. Now let's try to create a very basic JavaScript file here. So I'm going to just click on this icon which says new file, and then I'm going to name my file as hello.js, and here we can write our code. For example, I'm going to just write const, and I'm going to name my variable as x, let's say, and then I'm going to give some value to it, okay, and then I'm going to provide semicolon, and I just want to print the value of this variable which is x. So I can just write console.log, and then I will just pass x inside these parentheses. So you might have observed that Visual Studio Code already comes with the support for JavaScript and Node.js. So you can see at the bottom it recognizes the file type, and when I type let's say console here, it gives me the IntelliSense for completing this code which I'm writing, right? So it knows the file name and it knows what I'm trying to do inside this file. I can press Ctrl S to save my file. Now you can open the terminal inside the Visual Studio Code itself. So you don't need to type cmd to open the command prompt and execute this code. I can just click on terminal and then click on new terminal, which is going to open the terminal in my Visual Studio Code itself, and it's going to open the terminal in the directory in which I'm currently working. So this is the workspace directory. Now one more cool feature about Visual Studio Code is you can see that this font size is little bit smaller. So I can just press Ctrl and then plus, and what it does is basically it's going to increase the font size and the size of all the widgets inside Visual Studio Code. So I can once again press Ctrl plus, and you can see now this font size is bigger, terminal size is also bigger. So in this way you can change the font size. If you want to reduce the size, then press Ctrl minus, okay. So when you press Ctrl minus, then it's going to reduce the size of all the widgets and the font. Now we have already installed Node.js on our Windows operating system. So what we can do is we can just write node and the name of the file, which is hello.js, and then press enter, and it's going to print the value of x, which is my first app. So you can write your code, run your code within your Visual Studio Code, so you don't have to leave Visual Studio Code to run your applications. Now Visual Studio Code have some really cool features. For example, you can search for some text inside several files. Let's say I just want to search for if my project contains many files, let's say 100 files, then it's going to search for my keyword in all the 100 files, and it's going to show me the result, right? So I can see here my keyword is written So it's search and show me. I can also replace my with any other word, let's say our, and then press on this replace all button, which is going to just replace this my with our keyword, let's say. Now Visual Studio also have a good integration with source control. So if you have Git installed, it's going to recognize that you have Git installed, and it's going to show you if you want to commit your files or you have some uncommitted files. So whenever you change your code in your project, Git is going to track your code, and with the help of this source control section, you will be able to see what all files are added or what all files are uncommitted, so you can commit them and you can push them from this section. You also have the debug option. So Visual Studio comes with the debugger for Node.js already. So you can see, to customize and run debug, create a launch.json file. So when you just click on the run and debug button, you will see that it's going to give us the option to choose from these options. We want to debug this for Node.js, so I can just select Node.js from here, and then our code is going to be debugged inside our Visual Studio Code. So right now it just prints our first app, which is this value of x. Let's say I just want to create a breakpoint here. So here on the console log, I just created a breakpoint, and whenever you create a breakpoint in your file, you will track all your breakpoints under this section. So if you have multiple breakpoints, you can see what all files contain breakpoints, and when you click on this, you will directly go to the breakpoint. You also have toggle active breakpoint, which means that you can disable all the active breakpoints using this option. Also, you can remove all the breakpoints using this option. Now once again, let's debug our code. So I'm going to just press run and debug, and then once again choose Node.js. And once I do this, you can see here, because I have created a breakpoint here, my code execution is stopped at my breakpoint, and here I can visualize the local variables and other stuff, right? So when I hover over on x, I can see the value of x, which is the feature available using the Node debugger. Also, if your code contains multiple lines, you can press on this button to continue. You can press this option for stepping over. You can go or step into the code. You can step out of the code, and also you can restart your debugger using this button, and you can stop debugging using this button, right? So these all things we are going to see in the later videos when we write some actual code, but I just want to show you how powerful this Visual Studio editor is, right? The last section here is for the extensions. So whatever language you are working in, Visual Studio Code have extension for most probably everything, because it has a very strong community support. Let me just stop the debugger. So as I said, Visual Studio Code already comes with the support for Node.js, but if you want to search some more cool extensions related to Node.js, you can just type Node here, and then it's going to give you some options related to the Node.js. So let's say I just press on this option which says Node debug, and you can also see how many stars this project have and how many downloads this extension have. And here you will be able to get more information about this extension. So you can see this extension is from Microsoft, and it has been downloaded around 200,000 times, and it has good rating of 5, right? So you can decide based upon this if you want to download this extension or not. So by default, Visual Studio Code comes with Node debug extension. That's why I can disable this from here. Let's say if I choose some other extension, I have the option to install it. So I can just click on install, which is going to install this extension inside my Visual Studio Code. I can uninstall this extension, and also I can disable this extension if I have installed the extension. So there are many cool extensions here, but we will install them whenever we need them, right? So we will go step by step, and we are going to install them step by step when we need these extensions. So this is how you can download and install Visual Studio Code and set up your Node.js development environment on Visual Studio Code. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video.